It was fantastic for the staff to see an expert, and I use that term, actually using the HRLTPs rather than watching a classroom teacher who is still learning and an ex-classroom teacher who's still a good teacher, even though she's moved on, still learning and making mistakes and not being overly sure, am I using the right text? Have I chosen something that will best represent what I want to share? It was great to see someone who knew exactly what they were doing with a small group of children at the upper end and the lower end of the school, children of mixed abilities, and getting the feedback that we had been getting, but getting it much more quickly. And also to be able to sit there and say, well, you know, I'm actually doing a pretty good job. I do sort of know what I'm doing. I do know where I'm heading with this. So having that opportunity to have John come in and model was excellent and directed a lot of the learning from that point. I don't do technology. Well, I do, but it doesn't like me. Following John's visit in April, it was decided that we really did need to trial more in the classrooms. We really did need to get people in and working on what they were doing and making mistakes and bringing the mistakes they make back to a forum where it could be discussed. If you don't make mistakes, you don't always learn. And it was also important, from my point of view, to sit down and explain explicitly to my grade, this is why we are doing these strategies. We're not just getting knowledge ready, there is actually a purpose behind why we are getting knowledge ready. And that empowered the students to start using the language with a lot more confidence and share their learning with a lot more confidence. They really understood what they were doing, why they were doing it, and where it was going to lead later on. Thank you.
And I'll just add on to the point that I've got here. We realised that, and what Robin said is actually absolutely true. I think it was quite clarifying when John came out that the teachers were able to sort of see it in action, if you like, but also think, well, actually, I think I'm doing okay, or what I think getting knowledge ready is kind of what, you know, the guru thinks that getting knowledge ready is as well. But we really did need to take that next step and move from trialling in new classrooms to a more structured and planned program for actually teaching the high reliabilities. So each term, I'm going to speed up a bit now because it's funny how you think that things won't take very long, and they do. So I'll kind of flick through this a little bit. We have planning days, I'm sure most schools do, to plan for the next term, and Judy and I went to all the planning meetings at the end of term 2 just to help teachers to focus their planning in English on building in the high reliabilities into their term planner. We asked the questions that were kind of modelled to us by John, asking the teachers to say what outcomes do we want our students to achieve by the end of, in this case, term 3. Then what do we need to be doing to achieve it, and how will we know if we've been successful? What are our measures of success? After that, each team did amend their English planning documents, some to the nth degree. The prep team went right over the top and really got on board with it and had extremely explicit planning documents for all the high reliability procedures, which is fantastic. And at the end of the term, they reflected on those outcomes and continued the practice into term 4. Robin, I think we're going to have a problem here. I've got a feeling it's not going to open again, and I don't know why. Because we have some examples here of our prep planning documents, although they are similar to the ones that were shown by other schools. And you can see there's 3 of the 5-6 planning documents, and they were included in this presentation just to show how just the growth from the term 2 planning document in the 5-6 team before John's visit compared to the term 3 and then the term 4 visit. They're becoming more sophisticated and more focused. Did you want to say, I don't think we can open them.
That's okay. As part of the planning documents, they highlighted the strategies we were going to be using to best utilise with the children, their learning. And we also found it really powerful when we were doing the data collection and assessment for teaching, as part of the Patrick Griffin package, when we highlighted a student who had a problem, what strategies were we going to incorporate into our planning to best support that learning? Using the John Munro strategies from the HRLTPs worked beautifully, and we were able to incorporate them into planning. I'm repeating myself. It was the sharing of best practice. That getting together and discussing was just so powerful, because it allowed people who might not have thought of something to listen to someone who had. Best way to put it.
That's okay. Okay. That was just about the peer modelling and supported. We think that the high reliabilities have given actual focus to going in and observing people in their classroom. The opportunity has been made available all year for either myself to go in and release a teacher to go and watch someone else. I'm sure you all know the permutations in those processes. They could go and watch Robin could come and watch them, they could go and watch anybody else, and it's been slowly sort of picked up by a lot of our staff. Just talking about our professional learning, we have a meeting schedule that provides opportunities for learning in a variety of forums. It was generated at the start of this year with to try and accommodate all the learning that we needed to do for our AIP, and we have quite a lot of competing interests at the school, from the Ultranet team and a maths team, obviously our English team. We have a data team that works on the Patrick Griffin data model, but the schedule is reviewed each term, but there was actually no change just as a result of John's visit. You can see there the different ways that we meet. Some of the terms might sound a bit confusing, and they get confusing for us sometimes, I've got to be honest, but it shows that we've got a lot of opportunity to meet to discuss not just the high reliabilities, but linking them with the data that we've received through Patrick Griffin's work as well. The changes that we've made as a result of John's visit, we believe we've had a more explicit focus on the teaching of the HRLTPs and a more structured and planned approach to professional learning. There's greater opportunity for peer support and observations. We've created folders with all the academic information we've got, also collections of activities that teachers have been trialling in their classrooms, and that's available in a hard copy, and it's also available on our intranet. The impact has been, we just wanted to share some of the impact on our experienced teachers who've commented positively on the HRLTPs this year. And I'll pass over to Robin again.
The comments you're going to see are very positive. Please don't think they were all positive comments. We've gradually managed to bring everybody around through a lot of hard work, a lot of trialling and a lot of modelling. It's just good teaching, and that's been expressed by John, it's been expressed by John Nelson came out to the school, and it's just good teaching, and it's great to see it coming back again. Not that it always disappeared, but I think as experienced teachers especially, you have so many things in your toolkit that each time you learn something new, it gets weighed down. And a lot of the really good stuff is at the bottom, and you need to be reminded that it actually is there and to dig it out and get back to it again, because it is good teaching. The required documentation really focuses the teaching and learning. As part of my grade 6 areas, 5-6 area team, we have started to focus more on reciprocal teaching and reading. We've been resourcing for that using texts with different genres, so children know how to use the HRLTPs with a different genre of text, and how the reciprocal reading strategies fit in with the HRLTPs.